The festival and Christmas season is fast approaching, and with it comes the anticipated increase in visitors to the island. So in today's GIU interview, I will speak with Access Coordinator Ashley Lindsay to find out what arrangements are in place to ensure visitors have a smooth transition to Montserrat. Mr. Lindsay, thank you, of course, for being a part of the interview.
Hi, good morning.
Now, we know travelers have two options to come into Montserrat, either by sea or by air, so ferry or plane. What arrangements does the Access Division have in place to accommodate the increased volume of visitors expected during this time?
Okay, well, I have to say that this year we are very well prepared. We have learned some lessons from last March, and we have now put a number of processes in place to try and accommodate any actual increases that we have into the island. Before we had a few issues where we had some staffing issues. These have been corrected, and we had a few processing issues which we are now working on to make sure that these are in place. We have now put in a passport swipe system. We're now finalizing all of these, and we've also been able to put in a few changes in terms of the terminals so that we can get better traffic flow through the terminals while people are processing.
All right. Now, you mentioned something very interesting there, a passport swipe system.
Yes.
So that has been implemented already?
Yes, it has been implemented. We're working out a few bugs in it at the moment. So hopefully within the next week or so, these will be completed.
And this is at the ferry terminal or at the airport?
At the ferry terminals, both at Little Bay and in Antigua ferry terminals.
Okay, now because this is new, explain to our listeners and viewers how this system actually works. What would they have to do?
Right. Well, before in the past, what we've had is a lot of people who did not book online, when they actually came to check in with us at the terminals, our agents would then have to put in all their details onto the system manually. Now, what happens now is, as you approach the check-in system, whether you've booked online or not, it does not slow up the check-in process. It usually takes about 2 minutes, whereas before it was taking up to 6 or 7 minutes to check in. We're now down to a minute or 2 minutes, depending. We can process passports and credit and debit cards as well. The system caters for both. It's a case where one swipe, all the details go in, we do a double check to make sure everything is on target, and we just enter it in and you're on your way.
Right, good stuff. So faster check-in times for persons traveling to Montserrat using the ferry service.
That's correct, yes.
Now, we know that the ferry seems to be sometimes the preferred option of accessing Montserrat or coming into Montserrat, largely because of the amount of baggage that persons can take on the ferry, etc.
That is true, yes.
etc. But tell us, what is the seating capacity of the ferry?
The seating capacity is 218.
Okay, so we're definitely prepared to handle
Yes.
the influx that we're expecting to see. Now, we know the Access Division has published the ferry schedule, but for those who have not seen it, can you provide details as to the actual departure time and days from Antigua to Montserrat?
Right. Well, the schedule basically remains the same. For the season, what we've done is we've now put in a 6-day set schedule rather than a 5-day. We're now running on a Wednesday, whereas before the boat would have been off on a Wednesday. The times do remain the same. We still do leave at around 6:30 in the morning from here to Antigua, and returning at 7 in the evening. On day tour days, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays, we leave Antigua at 7:30 in the evening.
Right, so of course it gives persons sufficient time, or should give them sufficient time to transition from the airport, especially for those who are coming in on afternoon flights to get to the ferry dock in time. But in the event that there's some delay in terms of the flights coming into Antigua, are there any systems in place to ensure that those individuals are able to connect?
Well, what we do have, we usually have is we do have Monica Dare, who works for us at the Antigua airport. She would assist customers who might not be sure exactly how to get to the terminal or would like taxis or would like information. What she does, she guides them down to the ferry terminal. If for some reason that the flights are delayed or running late for whatever reason, then what she will do, she will stay in constant contact with Jenny, and then she would let Jenny know that there are people running late, and then what we do now, we'll hold for at least an hour or so just to make sure that we have everybody to come down that very evening.
Right, and for persons who are not familiar with Jenny, that's Jennifer Burke.
That's correct.
Who is an agent.
Who is the ferry
yeah.
agent for Montserrat and
Right.
Antigua.
Now, how many minutes or hours before departure does checkout close?
We close off at least half an hour before, but in the festival season, what we do, we try and take it to as minimal a time as possible. So as long as people are coming, we do try to accommodate. In some cases, we try not to leave anybody behind. So we take it to the maximum that we could. We still do have to try and stay on schedule because we have to remember that other stakeholders are involved in the travel process. So therefore, let's say immigration, customs, the agents here in Montserrat, they're all waiting for people to come in. So any delayed effects that happens in Antigua then affects the process here in Montserrat as well. But we still make sure that all passengers, as much as possible, gets onto the ferry and make it home that very evening.
Okay, and of course, there's no advance booking required for the ferry service.
It's not required, but we do encourage customers to book in advance as much as possible. The booking system is very easy to use, it's very user friendly. You can use your credit or debit card. For customers who don't have a credit or debit card, you can use your family or friends' credit or debit card. If for some reason you feel that the ferry might be full and you may not get a seat, you're quite welcome to contact any one of our agents, both here in Montserrat, Mr. Jemmett, or in Antigua, Jennifer Burke, and they would reserve a seat for you so that you can make it on that particular service.
And how does one go about booking in advance?
The ferry website is ferry.ms, and as long as you log on to it, it's pretty straightforward after that.
Okay, great. Now, we have been focusing a lot on sea access, but of course we know there's air access as well, and
Sure.
there are airlines operating here. Have the flight operators also increased their schedule of flights into Montserrat as yet?
Well, they haven't increased. What they do is they monitor how many people have booked on their normal flights, and if the normal flights have been exceeded, then what they'll do, they'll add additional flights accordingly.
Are there any arrangements being put in place to, allow for that easy transition via air?
At the moment, both SVG and Fly Montserrat has made sure that they have enough resources on the ground. I spoke to them recently, and SVG has 2 planes with 3 pilots waiting for any increases that we may need to handle, and Fly Montserrat has 3 planes and 3 pilots also, 1 permanently stationed in Antigua and 2 permanently stationed here, so that if we do have any increases then or any adverse weather, then they're able to cover. So yes, we're very well prepared this season for any increases in customers.
All right, that's all good news for access coming into Montserrat this year. But unfortunately, we know that at this time of the year as well, we oftentimes experience rough sea conditions, which sometimes affect the ferry's ability to come into Montserrat. Is there a plan B for situations such as that?
Yes, the plan B is always the same. If the ferry is not able to run, well, what we'll do, we'll try as much as possible to transfer all customers to the airline services. We do not charge any extra monies for that. What we'll do, if you're already booked on the system, then what we'll do, we'll transfer you to the airline system and take you over as quickly as we can.
All right, sounds good. Final comments from you, Mr. Lindsay.
Oh, well, this year I do want to encourage all our customers to try and plan ahead. As we know, at this time of year we do have quite a bit of delays, bad weather, and in some cases things that we just can't predict. So plan ahead. If you know that you're coming to Antigua to come towards Montserrat, leave a little bit of funds aside to make sure that if you have to overnight for whatever reason, that you're able to do so. We want to also encourage all our disabled or less able customers to give us some notification that you're coming so that we can cater for you as well. You can email us on the contact us section on the Ferry booking website, or you can contact us through Jennifer Barrett in Antigua, and the number is 1268-778-9786. Give us at least 2 days notice and we'll make sure we have people there to assist you when you're coming. When you get into Antigua, please make sure you fill out all the immigration forms in Antigua so that when you come to Montserrat, the process could be a lot easier and quicker processing people into the country.
Yes, ending with some very important tips there for our travelers. Thank you so much, Mr. Lindsay, our Access Coordinator. And I hope that this interview has provided our listeners and viewers with, much needed, useful information to help them transition into Montserrat smoothly this season. Thanks for listening. I'm Fiona Alexander Smith.